Welcome back to another episode of the Experts in Fire podcast. I'm your host, Mike Vennard, and with me today is Randy Mowry. Today's episode is Custom Fireplace Designs for Commercial Spaces. Let's get into it. Hey Randy, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing today?
I am fantastic. I'm hearing that this is the last day we're going to even get close to the 70s. So fall has officially arrived.
I like that. It's fall's officially arrived. Exactly.
I love it. I love Michigan. I love our weather. But it's fun because even last month I was teasing everybody. I'm going, hey guys, don't complain that we've had a couple cold days, because next month it's more cold days and warm days. And then the following month you're going to curse the gray sky. You know, that's just how it goes in Michigan. That's what Michigan folks do.
Oh yeah, I know.
But that's what we're here to discuss today, Randy. Today we are here to discuss custom fireplace designs for commercial spaces. And I know we've touched on some of these things before. We've discussed, definitely commercial spaces before. But this was something where you were inspired from something that happened. You had a situation with a client, and then we just spent a bunch of time with some designers at a show. And I really look at it and go, man, design has to meet function. And that is something important for our listeners to understand, especially if you're a pro. We get it that you get not only pressure, but demanded. This is what's on the prints. This is what the designer drew in. This is what's happening. And then you have to you're expected, I should say, to just install and make it work. And we run into situations where that isn't the right call. And the right call would be to talk to the designers. So I say that, and I don't say it gingerly. I say it because we all deal with it. And even going down and speaking with the designers that we talked with, they crave education because they're really going after the beauty of the design, but need to understand the function, right? Whereas our installers that we're working with, our pros that we're working with, understand the function and lean on us for the function to try and achieve the design. And those two have to meet in the middle sometimes.
Absolutely correct right there. Yeah, we love our designers, and I work with a lot of different designers, and it's always great to be on the front end, Mike, of their jobs when they are trying to design and work through certain projects, on all these commercial, whether it's indoor or out. And the challenge I feel really comes in is if somebody starts to reach out, maybe it's just the GC. They've already built something and they're reaching out and, hey, this is what we have. This is what was designed and built. We need your help. So, Mike, that's where I would say the bulk of the challenge is, and kind of where my thought with maybe running through this process again with today was about.
Yeah, well, let's hit it. Do you want to share the experience you just had, and we'll kind of set that as a backdrop for what we're talking about here?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll talk. It's a restaurant, and it's an outdoor patio area that has a see-through fireplace in it that was site built as what we call a ventless fireplace, meaning they built it. It's about 60 inches wide. It has no chimney, so there's no chimneys that for any kind of wood, if it was wood burning, or the gas that go up through the chimney, and exhaust beyond the roof line. So what happened is originally they reached out to us. I explained to them exactly why they shouldn't do it the way that it was designed to do, and unfortunately, they didn't take the information I provided to them in the guidance. They did it the way it was actually designed. And then what ultimately happened, Mike, is so they have this ventless fireplace that has no vents at all whatsoever. And then they put a big see-through vented gas log set in it that requires a vent. There's a couple challenges there. One, from an aesthetic value, all of the soot everything has no place to go, so it turned the face of everything black. They tried to use it, and they test fired it. It didn't take long for everything to turn black. Well, when it came time for that inspector to come out and inspect their installation, they said, no, this is a vented product that you're trying to put into a unvented fireplace. You have to take that out of there. So that from an inspection standpoint, it's, that's very, very important. It's a vented product. If I remember correctly on the restaurant, it was open one side, meaning it was a wide open space. The other space was open with like a pergola with some type of metal roof on it going into a sitting area, but it was still open on three walls. So the fireplace as a whole was still vented properly and everything. However, because it didn't have a vented fireplace, the potential there could have been filling that one side with excessive possibly gas because it's not rising, it's going into one, So there's a few different things going on there, but ultimately it did get dinged. And now what's happening over there is they're having to get with the manufacturer of the actual ventless fireplace structure that they used and see about tearing it out, modifying it to put chimney components on it. And the reason being on that part of it, Mike, is I'm not aware personally of anybody that does a custom outdoor rated vent-free assembly, burner assembly of that size. And so I was not able to find them anything that would work, besides to vent the fireplace. And so now, they're looking at six figures to tear something down that they built structurally and to vent it. I'm not sure where they're at with it as far as that part of it goes, but that was our last conversation that I had with him.
That's disheartening.
It's just like you said, it just where it comes in the design and function, they have to mate together. It makes sense.
You have fire-related questions, and we have answers. You can email us your questions at podcast@woodlanddirect.com or give us a call at 586-221-3638. We would love to be able to answer them right here on the Experts in Fire podcast. And you know what? Let's rewind that, because as you're talking, I'm sitting there going, oh wow, I can see why a designer would look and go, I don't want a metal chimney sticking up there, right? I'm trying to keep a certain height to this thing. I don't want even, one of our exclusive manufacturers, Isokern, they have a block chimney that you could step up there. So you could use, a fully vented, but designers look at different aspects that, for us, we're looking at manuals all day and we're talking to techs and we're going, hey, what can I do and what can I do? And they're looking at aesthetics in different pieces to go, I want this entire environment to look a certain way. So it makes sense in my head why they would have wanted that look. And that's where a guy like you comes in and says, you can't have that look with that many BTUs. You got to have a vent. You can't do a vent free there. And that's where helping educate designers is a part of what we do. Being able to speak to that pro and that pro go, hey, will you come with me? And I know you've done this. That's why I'm saying this.
Yeah. The funny thing I was just going to say is, that was an extreme case that came across my desk because it's one of my, one of my contractors that I work with. And then this week, I have almost the exact same scenario. However, it's a residential outdoor in California. Same thing. The design part of it is outdoor, 8-foot long fireplace, no vent, no chimney. But we're on the front end of this project, and she messaged me about doing the burner because they asked for a vented burner. And through conversations, explained to her why I don't recommend it. Just kind of everything we just talked about. Presented her with an actual outdoor fireplace. It's not 8 foot because, like the one we have, one of the ones we have is about 72 inches, and they'll kind of build around, a little bit different, but it will work and kind of achieve the same look. And she's like, oh, this is, I think this will work. We'll present it to everybody, kind of move it along. Those are the kind of differences of being on the front end and on the back end of, of jobs. When they're done, you've got a little play. You can offer different things to, hopefully make it work for the design, the client, and everybody.
Yeah. So to all of our designers out there who are listening, we're here for you. Trust me, we are not trying to hold back your creativity in any way. What we do like to do is help educate on what can be done, because the last thing you want is, you said 6 figures to fix that thing, Randy, and that that blew my mind. I was thinking 5.
Well, it's because it was tied to the roof, the structure of the building. It's not just a matter of knocking down some metal stud, hardy board walls. It was a very big to do, and that's what he said. He says, "This, I'm looking at 6 figures to try to fix this," is what I'm thinking. By the time he tears it down, fixes it, rebuilds it, labor, materials and everything else, and I'm like, yeah, like I said, I don't know where he's at with it. Unfortunately, it's just an unfortunate situation, and it goes back to some of the stuff that we've chatted before of some of our fire features that require gas and gas lines not being, it's things like that.
It is, and it's important, as we talk with designer as well, they're not getting paid until the job's done as well. So when I bring up scenarios like this, some designers look at me like, "Are you crazy? I want to get paid."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. You should get paid. Yeah. So it is not lost on them to go, "Hey, we want to make sure," but they do play that fine balance of, I'm the one that's showing this off to the client, and I want to make sure, and this is where I want to be clear, I understand having to repitch something. Once you've already done the initial pitch and you've gotten a client to fall in love with what you've shown, now you got to come back and repitch. It just kind of, for some people, it's discombobulating. It causes them to go, "Oh, hold on. What happened to?" It makes you look maybe a little unprofessional, but it's better to go back and say, "Well, hold on. This was the original design, but we had to talk to the pros in the gas field, in the area that could say, this is what we can do with a fireplace, an outdoor fireplace, indoor fireplace, fire pit, whatever you're looking for," and help them go back and re-educate the client to help them to go, "Oh yeah, that's great," and find that joy again. That's really the game we're playing, right? That's the game.
Yeah. And I really feel that is why we have had such this huge increase of designers reaching out to us as a company and to get an understanding of what they can and cannot use in their designs. Every day I'm being sent over like a new designer that has questions on fireplaces and even fire pits and where they want to place them, but just talking about the fireplace in general. And we've been talking about outdoor, but this goes to the interior as well, because there may be restaurants, and we'll just stick with vent free for a moment, where you do restaurants and hotels, and we see it all the time. If you're going to shows and things like that, these big old fireplaces in restaurants, where there's some specific requirements sometimes, the sizing. In a ventless fireplaces being 99.9% efficient, they're going to put out a ton of heat. And, most commercial properties, that's not what they want. They just want that ambiance of fire. And so there's certain products that are going to work much better in those applications.
And I can see designers looking at it going, "Well, I don't want glass in the way." Right? Because it's got to be cleaned, and it has to have a safety barrier, and I just don't want glass in the way. But if you try to go to vent free, you're now creating a zone, and we even see them here in Michigan, even though it gets cold up here, there's an entire zone around that fireplace that you don't sit people at. You've lost seating as a restaurant because it's just too hot, or you don't have the fireplace on. I've been at restaurants where I've gone, "Hey, can we turn this on?" They're like, "It'll get way too hot." You're like, what a waste of money, man.
Yeah. Exactly. And I've seen that even with direct vents, where the same type of thing, where they don't want it on because of the heat itself that it puts out. Well, that's where we have fireplaces that they're fire, but they don't produce heat. It all goes to the outside of the structures. So there is a product for essentially each application, as far as the design goes, and it's just a matter of working through those things. And sometimes it takes a little while. I have another hotel. We started off with gas fireplaces, Mike, and I was looking at the email thread last night, and I believe 30 days of email threads between about 10 different people, 4 of them being the designers, the GCs, and then the hotel owner, where now we've moved to an electric fireplace just because it makes more sense. These things could take time, but we'll find something that works and makes sense for the installation.
Yeah, that's a big piece of what we're trying to do here. I certainly don't want anybody to think we're looking at designers saying, "Oh, they just don't know." No. keep doing what you do, but keep an open mind when it comes to fire that something may need to be changed. Better yet, before you even put it in for the pitch, give Randy a call, and he can help walk you through it before you ever go in and pitch, so that first pitch, at least when it comes to fire, you're going to be good.
Right.
Yeah. I love the conversation, though, Randy. There's so many options on the outdoor side nowadays. People are working hard on giving more options to the outdoors. We have a ton of options for the indoors, all the way to electric. Electric has come a long way, and we've done episodes on electric fireplaces. I tell you what, they look sweet. You know, I literally sit here going, man, I could put an electric fireplace in every room in my house. Not worry about a gas bill, not worry, you know what I mean? Sit there with the remote all day or with my phone and just ding, 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 ding. I dig it.
Right? Exactly.
Well, lots of options. Randy, I think I don't want to beat a dead horse here. We're really just trying to help everybody understand in these big situations. Give us a call, give us a shout. We can help walk you through. And then if you're saying, man, this is what is on the papers, I'm going to have to go back to the designer, we will absolutely go back and chat with you, with the designer, to help them understand what's going on, options that are had. Because I know the designers we've sat with, they look at me and go, I mean, this was just a month ago. They looked at us and said, man, could you just send us over some of those options so I can have them available all the time? Absolutely. Not a problem. Not a problem. And now they can just throw them right into the work that they do, you know. So we're here for you. We're here to help with that. Randy, is there anything else you wanted to add to this before we signed off?
No, I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered everything. You know, just I don't know if we didn't touch on it, but we always like to touch on it, is just the safety of making sure the right product is going into the right spot based on the design.
Keep everybody safe, because fire is valuable in terms of I tell you what, I walk down the street and I see fire at places, I want to go eat there. I'm not even sure why. It's a primal thing. I don't know what it is. I just see it and go, that's cool, man. You know, I go eat there. But you definitely want to keep everybody around safe while you're doing that. We do have stories about unsafe situations that we've come in and helped with, but let's not go there, right? So safety first, and then as always, we want to help you not get a call back. You can just get your job done, get on to the next one, have a happy client, and then call us for the next one. So Randy, as always, brother, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for spending your time doing this with us.
Thank you. Have a good afternoon, sir.
Join us next time for A Guide to Gas Fireplace Maintenance. We'll see you then.